Hello everyone and welcome back to Task Force Admiral, which has just released a brand new demo, and so I am very much looking forward to jumping in and seeing how all of this goes, because this was a lot of fun in the previous demo. I can't remember exactly how well I did at the Battle of Coral Sea, but I believe I got a reasonable thing. I think I sunk a carrier for the loss of one damaged carrier, which is I think better than what actually happened. So yeah, lots of things have been updated here, and I am just going to jump in and see where things are. So we do have a battle generator now that you can set up your own system, how many carriers there are, how many enemy carriers there are, set all that up for a little bit of a random session. I'm going to just go to the single scenario here, and we're given right now only the Battle of the Coral Sea is available, and there are two scenarios of Cranes and Patriots, and Cranes, Patriots and Friends. One is the historical scenario, the other is just a hypothetical scenario. So we're going to go for the historical one today. Be nice and sensible there. And yeah, it is the easier one, which is probably a very good thing. Now, if I remember rightly, it gives you a very nice little video briefing, so I will just let that play.
It's early morning on May 8th, 1942. Task Force 17, under the command of Vice Admiral Fletcher, has been roaming the Coral Sea for 7 days in an attempt to prevent a Japanese invasion of Port Moresby. The carriers USS Yorktown and USS Lexington were quite active and successful the day before. The American air groups managed to sink a light Japanese carrier with minimal losses, forcing the invasion force to loiter in fear of facing overwhelming odds on its way around the New Guinean Peninsula. In the meantime, the American carriers were left untouched. Japanese search efforts were rendered fruitless due to a number of mistakes and communication hurdles. Despite being spotted, Task Force 17 managed to escape the attention of enemy air power, as bombers from Rabaul focused fruitlessly on the Anzac Surface Combat Squadron, led by Admiral Crace, standing guard on the road to Port Moresby. As for the main Japanese carrier force, they attacked in droves the oiler USS Neosho and her escort USS Sims, mistakenly identifying them as a carrier force. Realizing their blunder, the Japanese aircraft launched a late afternoon search and destroy attack against the American carriers. Lost in bad weather, they were intercepted by American fighter cover and suffered crippling losses. Plus, to add insult to injury, they came across their target in the darkness on their way home and even tried to land, mistaking the American carriers for their own. But the Americans know that it was far too much luck for one day. Admirals Tagagi and Hara are going to be doing everything they can to wash away the humiliation suffered the previous day and show the combined fleet that Carrier Division 5 crews are not to be trifled with. Now, Admiral Fletcher has elected not to send a surface fleet ahead so as not to weaken his protection screen and leave these ships vulnerable at daybreak, a move he will be heavily criticized for in the coming weeks. It's now up to you to decide what to do next. The position of the enemy carriers is estimated to be within combat range northeast of Task Force 17's current position, but no one can predict with any accuracy the moves of the enemy. Enemy opposition is deemed challenging. The Japanese air group's been badly hurt by their ill-advised evening attack hours ago, but they are still going to be packing a punch. Expect to be going toe-to-toe with about 60 to 70 enemy Zero fighters, dive bombers, and torpedo bomber crewed by professionals, some of them veterans of many campaigns. As for the Americans, your own air groups are in good shape but are still suffering from a low number of available fighters, which will force you to make some tough calls. Should you escort your bombers as a priority or protect your carriers? It's your job to figure out how to best prepare for the first real carrier-to-carrier engagement of the war. Your objective is to seek out the enemy carrier force, engage it, and inflict heavy damage to force the Japanese Navy to abandon its move against Port Moresby. You're to retire to the south at the end of your operation. Good luck.
Right, hello Camus, welcome to the stream. And yet, surprise guest does sound interesting. I can always follow this up with another stream where I do try the Friends mission. See exactly what makes it more difficult. But for now, let's limit how painful this is. And yeah, the audio panel's a bit weird there. That they clearly added some audio lines midway through that, but only to my left ear apparently. That's fine. The Admiral just wandering around in circles around me. So yeah, we have 2 carriers, they have 2 carriers. We roughly know-ish where they are, they roughly know-ish where we are, and it is time for us to go to battle. So we're in command of the carrier group, and we've got various different views that we can use here, but basically we set things up. So we've got a strategic map here, so you can see roughly where my carriers are. We see the rough enemy carrier position there, although that is out of date. We can go outside, and this is actually a nice, beautiful 3D view. Can't see anything because this is the middle of the night, and yeah, it is real dark. Seeing if I can actually make out the carrot. Yeah, if I zoom, maybe. I don't know, I'm looking at water now. Yeah, so there is a carrier there, believe it or not. But that's okay. This is the middle of the night. We don't do night carrier operations in this, so we're going to have to wait till morning anyway, and we'll be able to see a lot more in the morning. Morning, Falcata, and welcome to the stream. But yeah, it's just gone midnight. Our last contact with the enemy was at 9 o'clock, so we're 3 hours out of date. They're somewhere around there. We have to wait until dawn before we can do anything, but we can move around. Now, I'm going to be copying the general tactics that I did last time of heading kind of at 90 degrees to where I think the enemy are. I don't want to get too far away, because, again, going back to what I understand, the Japanese aircraft are longer range, so I don't want to be too out of range here. At the same time, I probably don't want dawn to be arriving and for our battleships to be looking at each other, otherwise it's going to get real messy real quick. But if we take on this course more or less going east, that'll hopefully put us near to the enemy carrier group, but not too near. You can see the time we're expected to arrive there, so dawn's going to be around there. For now, let's just set a course that will take us until noon the next day. Now, though we can't launch anything right now, we can get everything set up for the morning, because importantly in this game, all of the flight setup is modelled. Planes need time to get armed, they need time to get on the deck, they need time to take off. And so, ideally, everything needs to be scheduled ahead of time. You can't scramble planes really, really easily, because, yeah, it takes time. You can't just get a fighter out of a hangar and in the air. So, here's our fleet map. We can move where our ships are around our little fleet if we really want to. I don't know what's best. The current one seems fine. We've got our 2 carriers in the centre. We've got the Yorktown and the Lexington. And then we've got a bunch of escorts in a ring around them, which seems fine to me. Now the first thing I want to do is find the enemy. They don't have hot start. Yeah, I know. No hot start here. So I know roughly where they are, but I cannot be 100% sure about that. So we're going to need to find these, and ideally we want to find them before they find us. So I'm going to sort out a new air search here. Create new air search. And what we get here is this lovely little cone that we're sending out. So I can select which aircraft carrier it's coming from, the Yorktown or the Lexington. Let's leave it on the Yorktown for now. I can either send out a Dauntless or a torpedo bomber, which I'm forgetting the name of. I'll just send the Dauntless out on this one. Yeah, there's only one task force, so I don't need to worry about that. Don't worry about shadowing. As soon as I know roughly where they are, then that is fine. So I can move this around for the start angle, and I can adjust quite a lot of things here. To begin with, I do not need to be sending the carriers out, planes out that far. I know roughly where they are. You can also see here that this is where dawn will be, is where the carrier is at dawn. And what I'm going to do is send basically a wave of fighters out, trying to get, they'll follow this little route, and I want to get them kind of following along where I think those carriers are. Just going to send an individual plane out here, can change the angle here, and send this out on a 45-degree angle. Leave the patrol altitude as it is, and then there we go. So dawn is just past 6 o'clock. Devastator, thank you. I'll be sending out the Dauntlesses though. Okay. So there we go. First search flight is in the queue, and believe it or not, we're gonna need more than one. So same thing, get another one, send them out a slightly different angle. Basically wanting to patrol this area here. How about I send, yeah, maybe one more. A little bit further over here. And then I'm also going to send some others a little bit further out, but with a narrower search pattern. Yeah, so just in case their carrier group moves north instead, I'll send a few out like this. Oh, that's all of the ones that Yorktown can do, so if I switch over to the Lexington. Let's bring that back in a little bit. Lexington. How about we send 4 from each? So 8 planes in total. Hopefully one of them will find the enemy battle group. Because whoever finds the enemy battle group first is going to have a really big advantage. Of course, these are all planes that I could be sending on other missions that are just taking off without ordnance, and they're also going off on their own, so they're very vulnerable. But that is very much part of this game, is trying to make the best of what you have. There are no perfect choices, and I am no master of World War II carrier combat, so I'm going to be making lots of mistakes here. Either way, that's our search pattern laid out. So now that that is all, that better have actually saved all of that. Yeah, okay, it is. It has all saved all of that. That is all there. That's fine. Yep, there they go. Everything scheduled. Right. And then what I can do is we also need to defend fleet. Yeah, so I'm just going to change the scale down here at the bottom. So you can see here it's preloaded everything. So these are all of the takeoffs, and then these are the landings coming back around 7. Now, we also need to defend our fleet. So go defensive air ops, and I want to create a new combat patrol zone. And the way that this works is they will follow this little dotted path around. And hunt for anything that's coming. So I'm expecting the enemy to come from somewhere to the north. So I want to set my little cap flight out being somewhere to the north. Yeah, maybe give us a little more breathing room between us and them. Alright, so there we go. This is coming from the Yorktown. We're sending our F4Fs, and and the way it works is they work in pairs, if I'm remembering rightly. So basically this is 4 planes in the air, 4 ready to go. Yeah, and then they rotate around. So that is fine. Now, I want more, so I'm going to send another cap group up here. Okay, that's all the fighters that I have available from the Yorktown. And I want to go over to the Lexington. Alright. So a 16. Alright. I'm going to send these in groups of 3. Have these a little bit closer to where the fleet is. Uh, 13,000 feet, bit low for cap. I'm not sure. It's relatively high, I guess not too high, but not too low either. I suppose they really want to be able to see the enemy. I'll leave it on the default unless you know a particularly good World War II naval altitude to send these things off at. As I said, I am not an expert in World War II naval combat. Alright, then we've got a few planes left on the Lexington. Yeah, so we've got 10 left. Yeah. Yeah, these are naval planes. They're not doing bomber escort as much as hunting incoming torpedo bombers. So maybe not as far out. Right, this should leave me with 4 spare fighters. Yeah, I guess definitely we want to be diving on them, but at the same time I'm really worried that if I go too high I'm just not going to spot them and they're just going to go straight under. Either way, we've got our little cap set up right there. So, almost ready to get going for the day, but one important thing that we've missed out so far is we do actually want to hurt the enemy. And once again, this is where imperfect information is going to come back to bite us. So we could absolutely wait until we spot the enemy fleet, and then once we've spotted the enemy fleet, we can organise a strike mission to hit their carrier groups. That's fine, that works. The problem with that is, as I said, it takes time to get your plane sorted and on the deck and ready and then launch. And so if I'm doing that, I will only be launching my planes after a significant delay, after which point they may have already hit my carriers, and if my carriers go down, then that's a strike I am never going to get off the ground. So instead, what we can do is pre-plan a strike mission. And then we just have to kind of hope for the best. Hope that we have found the enemy before then. Yes, I can redirect the flights. This is just basically a pre-planning thing, but I can change where they are going right up until launch, and even when they've launched, I believe I can redirect them after that. Just fuel things may come in to bite me if I am well off. And equally, if I launch them and I have no idea where they are, then I'm not going to be able to rebase them. Either way, the Yorktown here, what I'm going to do is send my entire carrier, every single bomber, off on the first run. Now, the question here is, when do I want these to take off? Because I can put them in right in the queue, about 6:30 is when my first planes all get into the air. But at that point we won't know where the enemy is. My search planes are coming back a little bit after 7, which means that hopefully they would have found something somewhere between those two. So I'm probably going to go for about 7:15 as when I am launching these. Yeah. Yeah, okay. There's a naval strike mission taking off there. Right. So picking the target, that I am estimating that their enemy fleet is going to be roughly where it is. It's not going to be, but at least this way I've got this kind of planned in. So basically that is... Oh, that's a little bit earlier than I wanted. Maybe I should increase this a bit more to 50. Yeah. So I'll send that lot off at 10 to 7. That's giving my search aircraft about 45 minutes to actually locate the enemy fleet. Hopefully they will have done that, in which case my planes will be in the air on the way when we find the fleet, and then we can hopefully do something about them. Yeah, definitely load out offensive firepower. So it's Uncle Flight, apparently cannot edit that. Don't believe there is an acceptor. I think this has actually just entered this as a mission. And then I want, yeah, so the Yorktown, all its planes are dealt with, so I'll go over to the Lexington, and same thing here. This one does get an escort flight, because I left a few spare fighters there. And these ones, I'll send them a tiny bit earlier. There we go. 6:30. That will do. Pick target in the middle there. There we go. Yeah, so they'll be taking off at 6:30. So a little bit earlier than the other flight. But hopefully one of those two flights will find the enemy. Cool. And yeah, I can update that as and when. That doesn't seem to have actually gone through. I've not got the strike. Oh no, naval strike there. 4:30. It is entered. Yep. Yeah, that's fine. And the Yorktown, yeah, naval strike there. But it's still in the planning phase. So there's something I'm missing here to actually order that strike. Yeah, I'm missing something here because I don't think I've actually greenlit those strike missions. Edit mission. Ah, there we go. Greenlit that mission. Yeah, okay, now that's going ahead. Right, and then I need to do the same with the other mission. So that was the Yorktown is all assigned. The Lexington missions, nav strike, edit mission, green light. No, the red text was just in when I started trying to create a new one. I think it was objecting that there were no fighters. So if I click new strike mission, yeah, it's I think that's just objecting that there are literally no more bombers available, so I can't create a new strike mission, which is fine. Right. So there we go, that is all set up for the day's wonderful activities. Everything is going to go absolutely fine. And otherwise, yeah, we just need to wait here for the next 6 hours until dawn. And yep, unsurprisingly, we can time accelerate here. As we're merrily making our way around, because there's not much to look at in the middle of the night, not much to do. And of course, all of our plans are assuming that the enemy don't do anything themselves. Which is a bit of a problem, because the enemy most assuredly are going to do something themselves. But my Martian... yeah, well, I'll tell you what, how about for members only video, I'll do a real-time playthrough of Task Force Admiral. I will wake up middle of the night and in real time organize everything. See, I can make these statements because I don't have members active, so I can make empty promises. Wee, 3 in the morning. Yeah, okay, it doesn't want to be time accelerated more than 120 times, which is fair. I'll play the U-boat games in real time. Fair enough. I can imagine, yeah, doing like an individual engagement in real time. But doing an actual 3-day patrol is probably beyond me. But yeah, I suppose you leave your PC running, you go to sleep, come back in the morning, find you were sunk. Really? Literally leaving the game running and wake up to the alarms? Oh god. Fair enough. Some people are dedicated. I am not as dedicated. I like sleep. Right, so here we are. I was going to say in sunny dawn. This is very much not sunny dawn. It's not a carrier group. Where's my boats? There's my boat. Look at it. Alright. So getting ready to launch it. The carriers do need to launch into the wind, so they will basically disable the course that I've set for them so that they can launch. Don't actually know how to find where the wind is, but I'm assuming it's coming from the north, considering the carrier's turning to the north. Probably in the briefing there would have been friendly forces, air assets. There probably is somewhere, and I'm just not smart enough to figure it out. Welcome, Slate and Maith. And yeah, do they drown themselves in the tub when they sink? Yeah, just rig their house up with explosives. If they get hit by a depth charge, the house explodes. Real immersion. Yeah, game looks pretty wet when dawn starts. They've definitely got the atmosphere nice there. Alright, let's accelerate a little bit more. See all the planes getting ready. Yeah, and if I understand this right, they keep the planes at the front of the carrier as their kind of idle position so that planes can land, and then they pull them all back when it's time to take off so they can do their takeoff run, and anything remaining on deck will then transfer to the front, I believe. Again, I am really not an expert in naval aviation, but here we go. Look, planes! And go! Go, little plane. And yep, each of these has little things, and I can follow an individual plane. There we go, our lovely little vortex. On its way. Possibly. That's kind of nice. I wish I know what the key stuff might be. UI. If there is such a key, camera. So, okay, pause plus and minus, I can do that. Camera view. Oh yeah, I'm not surprised the engine is overpowering my voice. I will aim to be a little further away. In fact, we'll go to audio and bring the in-game sound down a little bit, so that I can get a little closer without deafening all of you. But it looks pretty. It's pretty. Right. Plane go burr. Alright. And yeah, one of the things that's quite cute about this is you do lose contact with your things. You don't have perfect knowledge. You have kind of perfect knowledge of where your fleet itself is. But the fighters that we're sending up, they just become radar contacts. They'll occasionally radio in to give us updates. But otherwise, we don't know. So some of our groups here are actually individuals that we're now picking up as 2 contacts. You can see this one's drifting off to the side. That's not accurate to what it's actually doing. So we do not have perfect intel. And of course we do not have perfect intel on the enemy. Hopefully we'll get some information about that soon. You can see these are now fading completely. Unfortunately, this is my strike package launching, and I don't know where the enemy are yet. I think I might have launched my strike packages too early here. Okay, so one of our planes has detected enemy air search. There we go. We've contacted the enemy task force. So I need to edit that operation. Right. Nav strike. Edit mission. Oh, they're already in the air. Okay, so because they're already in the air, I can't update that. That's fine, but they're actually pretty much bang on where I thought they would be, so that is fine. And see if I can get the other one edited though, because that's Lexington. Oh, is it? Missions? Nah. Nav strike taking off. Okay, they're both taking off. But it's okay, I guessed correctly. There's little music. Have a wander around the deck. See these brave traps taking off. Flipping the cunning power with rings. Yep, so we've definitely got contact on the enemy. Yeah, the extended warranty on the planes, I imagine they'd be rather expensive. By the way, this is nav strike taking off. Okay, these are our cap aircraft, these are our close cap aircraft.
Romeo, green leader, Lenny Boggy, sector 340,
Or
70 miles.
they're launching
Angel
their
1,
cap
Romeo,
flights,
red leader, Lenny Boggy, sector
or possibly their
340,
strike
70
flights.
miles, Angel 1.
Strike package underway. Nice. So yeah, our naval strike is on the way.
Romeo, white leader, Lenny Boggy,
Yes, I do believe the
Angel 10 plus.
badly... the poor reliability of the torpedoes is modelled. and is one of the major disadvantages that the US gets, as is historically accurate.
Romeo, Black Leader, many bandits. Vector 340, 40 miles. Anchor high.
Hang on, what are you doing on the deck? 102. Yeah, enemy raid on our position is definitely on the way. Fighters are engaged. I'm not quite sure how to find them, because they should be these guys. But all of these... Oh. Oh dear. We've taken some losses. Alright. Well, our strike group is getting there, so let's go check in on those guys. Yeah, I believe we can look at fights, we just don't know exactly where they are. I just need to have them double clicked on this thing, so I need to pick which ones I am looking at. So I've got one lot that are making their strike right now. Yeah, it's not up. This looks like the lead group though. These are the torpedo bombs coming in. That is a very dead plane. Another flight of torpedo bombs over there. Where's the... Oh god, and of course their planes are attacking us. Our boats are doing evasive manoeuvres, they're attacking us at the exact same time. We're attacking them. Oh. He just got hit by a zero. My planes are trying to manoeuvre into position for the bombing strike, but their zeros are right on us. I chose to prioritise defence rather than escorting my bombers, and so my bombers don't have an awful lot. Lexington's been hit by 2 bombs and a torpedo. Oh, Lexington's badly hit here.
Romeo, Black Leader, Bennett. Sector 080. Very close. Angels high.
Okay, Lexington's hit. Not terribly badly. These guys seem to have hit their targets. They're still going in. Here comes another 0. Oh, there he goes. Last one left here. Well, looks like he's getting within range of a torpedo launch though. Oh, torpedo in the water, awful angle, but...
Sector 010. Very close. Angel 1.
Let's see.
Romeo, Black Leader, then Buggy. Sector 340. 60 miles. Angel low.
Two ground there. Alright, he's coming back. So I think that's our torpedo bomber section there. Oh, that strike has mostly failed. The other strike group there is still approaching. And yeah, incidentally, my attacks are coming in kind of 2 separate formations instead of 1 joint formation. That is because at this stage in the war, the US didn't coordinate strikes between different carrier groups, between different carriers even, and so I do need to send them in 2 strikes. That is accurately modelled, unfortunately. Right, okay, Lexington is damaged quite badly. Yorktown is fine. And that seems like the worst of the enemy air attack. Ooh, well, I zoomed in on him at the exact wrong time. This is the second launch, second wave of torpedo bombers. Jesus, that's right. Guys, please. Oh, well. That's, yeah, that's the torpedo bombs being launched as we missed. I do have my various dive bombers. Yeah, the launch angles look dumb. Yeah, spicy. Not sure what the logic was there, but they made a choice. Oh well. We have a lot more dive bombers, and the dive bombers are a lot stronger.
Romeo, green leader, many bogies. Sector 3.
Okay.
50
On the
miles.
bright side, Lexington's put its fire out. Don't know if its flight deck is usable. Hopefully you can still recover aircraft. Let's go back over to the air formation. There was a splash there next to the carrier, actually. Might have hit it with the torpedo.
Romeo, white leader, 50 miles. High.
Definitely some good hits on that target. Multiple good hits there.
Romeo, white leader, 30 miles. High.
This is missing. Oh, one direct hit out of that lot, another one in the rear, and another one in front. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, they did take a torpedo hit on the side there. They are very much on fire. We do need dive bombers and DCS, yes. Oh, That was one hell of an attack. And it's not the only one, because this is the second squadron coming in. Second wave coming in. I think all of their fighters were mostly spent on the torpedo bomber wave, and so these dive bombers are just getting through unopposed. Now guys, you're supposed to hit the big boat thing, not the next to it. Oh my god, it's that awful. There is, of course, the other thing that is correctly simulated here, that the Japanese crews are rather battle-hardened, whereas the American crews at this point in the war are kind of new to it. Still though, to me, that looks like a carrier that can't do anything anymore. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's a carrier that is going to have severe issues putting out that fire. They're trying to help put out the fires. Splash the water on the boat. Oh, we didn't actually want to hurt them. This was a training operation. Right. Okay. Alright. See if I can find why this air combat is going on. It'll be one of our cat flights. Yeah, there we go. Okay, they're sending another wave of attackers. Our fighters have intercepted them. Yeah, it would be nicer if you could easily zoom in on contacts on the map. Little helicopter. Nice. So we're definitely making the second wave of theirs suffer. How close are they? Not. They're getting close, unfortunately. aircraft collision doesn't seem to be a thing that is modelled. Yeah, I can definitely relate to getting so target focused you end up sharing the space with the target. You have put yourself in the worst position possible. German planes, they're approaching my fleet because this is the flat file opening up. I think, yeah, most of my strike waves are still inbound. That guy must be winning. Nice, there we go. Yeah, this engagement of theirs is taking some heavy gas casualties. Fortunately, they are above the fleet. Dive bombers. Bonk. There's another one. Lexington's being attacked by torpedo aircraft. There goes another one of their dive bombers. take a look at what the Lexington's doing. I said it's being targeted, but it doesn't seem in too bad state, to be honest. I don't know what's going to happen with the Lexington's fighter complement. If they can redirect to the Yorktown, or if they're just kind of out of it now. Because I don't think they can make it back to the deck. Taking fire, that will be. There is cameras that I don't know what they do. Okay, there is a fresh wave, unfortunately, that is coming in. It's being engaged. Because we're just trying to weather this. And we'll see what we've got left. Another strike. Definitely caused serious damage to one of their carriers, worse than damage we've suffered so far. Nice, and Lexington got a kill. Not the position you want to be in. Low energy with a 0 on the tail. Luckily, armoured US planes take a little bit of a beating at least. Nice. That's a bunch of enemy bombers just got shot down. They are launching torpedoes though.
Bomber down in flames.
And here the Lexington's gun crews are doing a damn good job. Oh, look at that angle. See if I can get it zoomed in on this little plane here. He's already launched his torpedo. He's been shot at by so much so. Zeros are rather making a mince of my cap. Clearly put a lot of escort into this particular strike group, which is probably why there's no escorts left when my strikes arrive, so... Oh, this is one battered plane. Oh, he's ditched as well. Alright, we seem to have weathered the worst of it. Looks like Lexington didn't take any further hits. It's going to be a case now, I guess, of recovering what we can. Because our strike groups are coming back now.
Resuming base course. Aye, aye, sir.
Yeah, that's the last of them retreating. So we need to recover our strike groups. Alright. Yeah, alright. So we need to get nav strike groups back on the deck. Oh, we lost badly with our cap there. So much of our cap has been wiped out. Yeah, they did a lot of damage, but then those zeros came in. We got these guys, so at least we're not. Lexington. Oh no, things are landing on the Lexington. Nice. Okay, so despite the cosmetic damage, I can still use this. Yep, their surface fleet is still there. Yeah, new surface task force, that's fine. Let's just get our guys back on deck. Okay, that's both nav strike missions done. Right. Okay, new strike. None of the torpedo bombers from the Yorktown survived, but do still have 22 dive bombers. That carrier task force. Ah. Yep, there we go. As soon as possible, get in the air. New strike mission from the Lexington. Jesus, the Lexington's dive... Oh, the Lexington's dive bombers haven't been recovered yet. Okay, right, cancel that. Okay, so the Yorktown is getting ready to launch again. The Lexington's still recovering. Our forces seem to have disengaged with the enemy. Do you want to stay flag plot or should we head to the briefing? A strategic objective was completed. Okay. Fair enough. Let's hop over to the debriefing.
Victory in the Coral Sea. American and Allied forces, led by the U.S. Navy aircraft carriers, have inflicted a decisive defeat on the Japanese fleet threatening the Australian outpost of Port Moresby. It is the beginning of the end, all thanks to the courageous seamen and flyers of Task Force 17, led by Admiral Fletcher. Next stop, Rabaul.
Yay! Very nice. Let's go to... Okay, so we did sink that carrier. We sunk the Shikaku. Nice. Lexington got damaged, but did not sink. And enemy aircraft losses were actually a lot worse than ours. They lost 25 zeros, 32 D3s. Yeah. Victory. Okay. So there we go, the Shikaku must have burnt down. That does explain why they disengaged at the end there. Our mission was just to force them to retreat, which we very much did with the loss of that carrier. Nice. Decisive victory. Nice. Very good. Very cool. So yeah, I think they've just enhanced quite a few things since the last demo. Nothing massively major. You can manually take control of the aircraft. I didn't worry about that this time because I need to set up the controllers and whatnot. But I will very likely do that for another stream. I'm thinking of doing this again 2 weeks today. Do another stream, have the manual piloting enabled to see what that's like, and have a go at this Cranes, Patriots and Friends mission, the harder alternate one, to see what that looks like. But yeah, that has been a lot of fun. Get some pretty things that you can just look at, all of the various wildcats. Oh, the little buffalo. These are all the planes currently in it. Devastator, the Avenger. Oh, they do have B-17s modelled, that's quite cool. Oh, they got the Catalina. That's very nice. And they got some boats that do things in the background. Yeah, so got the Kaga and the Shikoku. The Shikoku is the one that I managed to sink. Very cool. And they got some Australian stuff. Not much, just the heavy cruiser, but fair enough. Yeah, as I said, there is also a battle generator, so you can say, oh, I want 2 CVs against 3 enemies. The enemy are to the east. Set the skill. Set where the wind is coming from. Set how much cow there are. They have enabled TAC view, so you can record your own TAC views and replay those. So they're definitely adding stuff here. But yeah, for now I think that's where I'm going to be leaving the stream. So I've definitely had fun with this. I had enough fun that I want to jump back in 2 weeks' time and try the alternate history scenario, but with seeing if I can take control of the planes and see what I can do, see if I can fly the plane. But thank you everyone for joining me on that one. That has been a lot of fun, and I hope to catch you again for future streams. Till then, remember to be kind to yourselves and everyone else. Cheers. And yes, I'd love to be ending the stream right now, except the game's kind of eaten my mouse, so I'm gonna have to do it that way.